Ta-da! It is so often that we feel blocked, stuck, lost, contracted. And we're frantically looking for a way out by grabbing onto concepts, things in life, or anything that will help us a little bit release the anxiety and rest from that anxiety. And I'm here to guide a small meditation to soften that blockage, soften that stuckness, soften that contraction, that disconnection from our own heart, because really that is in that tenderness, it's where it all begins and ends. So I invite you to close your eyes and soften your whole body from the head to the toes, just like melting butter softens, warm, soft, melting the butter. So imagine all your muscles and all your skin is a butter that's now melting on the sun, slowly, softly, hanging down, softening down, almost on a puddle on the floor. So just feel that softness in your muscles. There's something very soothing when we think about melting butter. And so make sure the breaths go all the way to your belly, down to the belly. And then we're slowly releasing. And then we release. Oh, it's almost another layer, another level of softness we enter. And so now, place your hands on your chest, on your heart, and just breathe into that. Breathe into the chest, into the hands, softly. And so, as life comes at us, currently experienced from outside, attacking us from all directions, we begin to harden the shells around the body and the heart, just because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be attacked and hijacked and feel pain. And so we block that tenderness, we block that tenderness, we block that softness, that sensitivity. It's our attempt to survive, but it's also what makes us into this super contracted ball of nerves and contraction and blockage. So when we soften and begin to resensitize the body and reawaken the tenderness of the heart, all of a sudden we begin to open up again to life like flowers. And we realize that when we open up to life, we become vulnerable, yet powerful in that vulnerability, yet full of compassion for the pains of the world that were previously hurting us and damaging to us. Now we feel their compassion for them and healing energy. We project love and healing. We meet people that are in such aggressive state, and this compassion in all spiritual traditions. Tantric scriptures talk about the heart, a lotus opening in the heart. If you see Mary Magdalene or Mary, there's always a dagger in the heart, a fire in the heart, a sword going through the heart. And so what that represents is that this softness, this tenderness in the heart is our portal to experiencing the kingdom of heaven where we are. So it is not something that is the way we are conditioned to believe, a story, and then we must enter these other realms, but it's rather awakening to the truth of our current experience of life. And this is the kingdom, the current experience of life. It's all representations. Yet for ages we have been taking them as, I don't know, stories of magical heavenly realms, when the portal is right here, through this tenderness, through this softness, through this vulnerability, our opening to life, to each other. And so, if you cannot feel your heart at all, and there is not even a chance, you're completely in your head, and it's like it's going on in your mind, and then what's needed is to stop and just put some like loud drumming or fast music, and you must like shake it off. Keep shaking off your whole body, head to toe. You just jump and shake off your muscles, everything that you stored for a lifetime. Everything, all the tightness, the contraction, everything that you stored, you must release it. You must let it go, just from physical movement and shaking, and then stop and feel. And every time you're going to feel a little bit more, a little bit more, and a little bit more. So we must exhaust physically first the anxiety, and then point the attention to that tender softness inside our chest that melts not only our own anxieties, not only our own blockages, not only our own sense of stuckness, but for the world around us. And so as we open to life like that, we open to nature like that, we open to someone that comes, we meet, and it's a lot of contraction and pain and suffering, or just general blockage and disconnection in that person. We melt that for them as well. And what do we experience? We experience the most intimate, magical connection to another human being. From one heart flame goes to another heart, that vulnerable tenderness, to another heart, to another heart, to another heart. And it's really the realization that this labor of love, this going back to the simplicity, going back to noticing, adoring, really doing everything with utmost love, regardless if we're washing dishes, if we are talking on the phone, if we're washing floors, if we're washing laundry, if we're doing job that we previously resisted, but this time we put our love and attention to the details, to the beauty, whatever that is. That simplicity, that tenderness, that kind, loving energy begins to open doors for us, begins to open possibilities. All of a sudden, the same life, the same circumstances, something begins to change, something shifts, something is not as before, something feels alive and in spirit. And this is how we enter the kingdom of heaven. This is the heaven. Wouldn't you say that you felt most alive, most happy, most fulfilled whenever you had this loving and tender connection, whenever with life in general? So I am inviting you to find the path back to the tenderness. Is it a music that truly touches you through tears? Is it spending time in meditation, loving what you do, putting love in what you do, the details, enjoying a cup of tea with utmost love and pleasure, whatever that is? Can you focus on that until you fall in love with life and realize that this is the path, our tender heart is the path. That's why all these symbols of the heart. The heart is not a concept of the mind. It's sensation, it's feeling, it's caring. It's all embracing. It's realizing that that which is aggressive, that which is angry, must be loved to soften back, must be nurtured back to life, back to love. So who and what can you nurture? And then we must remember that Native Americans, they would ask the person that is suffering and grieving a loss of a loved one to pray for the tribe, for rain, for whatever they needed, for health, because they knew that that tender heart is capable of bringing heavens on earth, capable of creating a field, a giant field of transformation of the fabric of existence, of this existence. I promise you, tenderness of heart, all the focus going there will completely dissolve all challenges, all contractions, all tensions, and it will make you fall in love with life and liberate you from being influenced by the circumstances, by the noise of the world. Doesn't matter. This is what we must do. All of us together come and awaken to this life, to this new way of being together. So join me. Ta-da! Bum, 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 bum.